Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tea&Comics. It has been a long time. Um, I've been really busy with school, and I just had to kind of stop filming these videos, and I haven't had a ton of time to even read a lot of comics either. But I'm back, and I have quite a pile of books here. I'm just going to look at kind of what I've picked up recently and kind of what I've been reading. And yeah, on the top of the pile, we have Action Comics 1000. Oh, drinking some peach tea. All right, so this came out today. Today is Wednesday. And yeah, I went and grabbed this. I just grabbed the regular cover. There was a bunch of covers, but I don't know, this one kind of stood out to me, and I grabbed this one, and it's just, this thing is, it was a little expensive, but I mean, it's like 80 pages. It actually is like a square-bound book. And I don't know if you've seen some of my other videos, you know that I've kind of been getting into Superman lately, and I've also been doing a lot of reading from the library, which I've posted about on Twitter before, but I just can't really afford a lot of comics anymore right now anyway. And so I've been going to the library, and a lot of the stuff I've been getting is all the DC Rebirth, Action Comics, and Superman comics, just to kind of catch up with what's happening there. And so I was pretty excited to go pick this up and check out all the different stories. There's a ton of different stories in this. If you look here, there's just a bunch of short stories and pinups, and then I believe it's the beginning of Bendis's run with the character as well as the final story in this issue. So that's Action Comics 1000. I also grabbed, this is Superman, Tomasi and Gleason, but this is the annual #1. I heard good things about this somewhere, maybe on Reddit, I don't remember, but someone was talking about how awesome this annual is. And a lot of times annuals can be mediocre, but this one was stunning. The art was by Jimenez, George, I believe it's George. And yeah, like here's a couple pages in. Like, this thing is stunning. His art is fantastic. It just flows. The story is fun, and Swamp Thing, obviously. I really loved this issue. I'm glad I have it. I hope to one day get it signed by everyone involved, but mostly Jimenez, because it was mind-blowing. This series I'm a little bit behind on. I think there's like 7 issues, or they're close to the end now. This is issue 5. I actually haven't read this yet. I just picked it up when I picked up Action Comics. And yeah, I've really liked this series. Sean Murphy has been phenomenal as well. His art is also just so detailed and amazing. I haven't read this at all. For this issue, the first 4 were great. I talked about them in some of my other videos. Looking forward to this. This is Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino's new series. So they're the team that did like Old Man Logan recently. They did a Green Arrow run for the New 52 a number of years ago that I really enjoyed. And so I picked this up. I have issue 1 and 2 here. These I have read. They're supposed to be like horror comics. The art is great. If you know Sorrentino's work, you'll be familiar. But the colorist, I don't know if this is Dave Stewart. I don't know if it's the guy that normally colors him, or they maybe went for a different style. But it's like this kind of scratchy style to the colors. It really matches the tone of the book. It's a gorgeous book. Again, it just seems like there's so many talented artists out there for different reasons, though. Like all the books I've just shown all have amazing artwork, but for very different reasons. Like there's a lot of variety, and it's fantastic. But yeah, this series is kind of creepy, I guess. I never really, with horror books, like I can never find comics or even like novels and books that scary when I read them, just because you're kind of in control. You know, they can be creepy for sure. I've definitely been creeped out reading a book or reading a comic and something kind of makes your skin crawl a little bit, or there's an image that's just really intense or really like gory or graphic, and or a character is just kind of creeps you out. But as far as like actually being afraid and scared, I don't know if books and comics can really accomplish that in the same way that like film can. And like maybe I'm wrong, or maybe that's just how I feel, but other people can be really scared while reading. But either way, I like reading horror books because I like the style that they bring, and I like that feeling that you get. You do get creeped out by characters and by certain visuals. And this series definitely has that vibe. So here's Bloodshot. I have number 7 and 8. It's Bloodshot Salvation. It's also Jeff Lemire. It's a different artist on here now than the first like 6 issues, which isn't, I don't know, this guy's okay. I've read issue 7, but not issue 8. It's still like really good looking. It's just, I think it was Luis LaRosa, and I can't remember the other artist, but they were just absolutely mind blowing. And so the art change was kind of sad for me, but issue 7 is actually a cool issue. If you have read it, it's actually like, I don't know what to call this, like a black issue, or there's no, essentially Bloodshot is blind, or he's in a pitch black area. So the whole story is told just like through panels and words. And I guess there's not too many spoilers here, but it was really interesting to read an issue like this, and it flowed really well, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's like the opposite of a silent issue. Normally a silent issue doesn't have any words, but it's just pictures. This is kind of almost the opposite. But I enjoyed it. I have to read number 8 still. The writing is still really good, even if the art change isn't my favorite. Not that the art is terrible, but just something I got to get used to. So Bloodshot Salvation. This book, so it's like a small little indie book here. Demon by Jason Shiga. It's just this little indie book. Like, it doesn't even have, like, it's just printed on, like, you know, the coloring is really rough, and but like I said, I've been going to the library to get some books, and I grabbed well, here I have it over here somewhere, right here. This is the 3rd volume of Demon, and this is published, I think First Second published his series in 4 volumes. So I've been reading through it from the library, but I grabbed, when I was at the comic shop, I saw they actually had, this is issue number 1 of the series from like 2014. I think this came out. Yeah. And it's like this, I don't even know what to call it. I don't know if it's like a fantasy or like science fiction story, but it's like very dark humor. It's morbid, but I've been laughing and reading it. It's like toilet humor half the time too. But I don't know if you probably can't find these issues very easily, but you could definitely find the trade paperbacks, either at, you know, a bookstore or your library or wherever. I recommend it. I've been really enjoying it. I'm almost done volume 3. I'm gonna go grab volume 4 from the library. But I had to buy this, just kind of own the first issue of it. And if I ever get a chance to meet Jason, I would love to get his signature on this, because it's been pretty fun. Just a couple more books here. Kill or Be Killed. This is one of those series. I'm not sure. I probably had this on a different video. Actually, I'm not going to flip through it because I haven't even read this. This is 16 and 17. This is one of those series. I do this for a couple series where I just keep buying them, but I'm just behind. Like, I read the first arc, first 4 or 5 issues, really enjoyed it, and knew that I was going to keep enjoying it because it's Brubaker and Sean Phillips. And so I just keep buying it, and eventually, I think it's actually ending soon, in issue number 20 or something like that, and then I'll just binge read the whole thing. But I know that I'm going to love it, and I like to support creators that I like by buying the kind of single issues, so I could just keep buying it, and so that's what I do with Kill or Be Killed. I think I do that with Black Science. Yeah, Black Science is another series by Rick Remender where I just buy the issues, but I'm like, I've read the first maybe 15, and now there's like another 15 that I'm behind on, but this one is only up to 17. This is the final issue of Slots. I did finish reading this series. I don't remember the last issue I had in my previous video, but I got 1 through 6. This is the final issue, I believe. It doesn't sound like there's any plans to do more Slots, but maybe in the future. I enjoyed this series. The art was really great. The story was good, but it was kind of all over the place. I feel like maybe he had bigger plans, but then had to wrap it up quicker than he thought, or I'm not really sure. It just felt like there was a few plot lines that kind of had to end quickly, and there was a lot of characters for like 6 issues. There was a lot of characters and a lot happening, but it was gorgeous, and I enjoyed it overall. And there's some really awesome boxing sequences throughout this. Just, you can tell that Dan Panosian loves mixed martial arts and boxing, because just he really nails the feel of what like punches would look like. And I don't know if it's this issue or the previous issue. There's a really awesome, I think it's the previous issue. There's a really awesome sequence of like boxing sequence where there's like Stan, the main character's dodging punches and landing his own, and you can tell that like Dan really thought about like Dan's motion, where he would be in each punch and dodging a punch and landing it, and you can like see how their bodies move when they get hit, and it's really cool series for that alone. The plot again wasn't mind-blowing, but it was enjoyable, and then the art and just the way that everything flowed, especially in the fights, was great for this series. So that's it for me. My pickups and my recent readings. Again, I've been reading a lot of stuff from the library as well. Maybe I'll do a video on like library pickups, or just kind of talking about going to the library, because it's not something I've done before for comics anyway. And it's been really awesome. It's allowed me to read a lot of stuff that I maybe normally wouldn't read, because there's no buyer's remorse, right? You can just go grab it. If you don't like it, you don't even have to finish reading it, because you didn't pay for it. You don't feel guilty. You just bring it back to the library. And so I've been really enjoying it for that kind of stuff. So anyway, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I've been reading and my pickups, and I hope everyone else is reading a lot of comics and getting into the hobby, checking out stuff that they like. So take care, everyone. Goodbye.